Good afternoon, everyone. Ashley here, reporting to you on the progress of the social justice, or something like that. I am not going to sit here and say I know what to say, and I'm right, and that I know everything, because guess what I've been doing? Reading, educating, watching, consuming. Are you? And on which side? I'm looking at both sides, I am, but the side that we're arguing against has been in the wrong for so long. I wanted to share some quotes from this book called Police Authority and the Rights of the Individual, which was written in 1967. I found this the other day. Some of you may know where I found it and why. But it was written by a Supreme Court Justice named Sidney H. Ash. And I, like any other thing I consume, did a little research into who's writing this, what bias or what side is this text going to be on. He was a very progressive Supreme Court Justice. He was a big advocate for LGBT rights. One of the cases he was most famous for, which sounds funny, and I laughed when I heard it, was that he secured men to have the right to have their hair cut in women's salons. And at first I was like, okay, like, why is that important? Oh, wait, because if you are a closeted gay person back in the 60s and 70s, and maybe you cross-dress, or maybe you do drag, or maybe you're transgendered, you have a right to go to a salon and get your hair styled in any way that you want to. So anyway, I found it to be a valuable source, and I want to share some quotes with you because I think the big thing that everyone needs to wake up to right now and stop. I'm out there, I'm not trying to argue, I'm trying to discuss, I'm trying to have conversations to just get people to think, because that's what educators do, and that's what everyone should be doing right now. And I just really want you to think about how everything that's happening right now, it's already happened. We are doing the same shit over and over and over again. This is the same story, just with different characters, okay? Look back at the history of riots and looting and why they happened and where they happened. Just please, go ahead, do a little research. And you are just going to be amazed at how far this goes back. How we have put police into the power that they have and let it get out of hand. It's the people who are like, the protests are getting out of hand and this and that. Well, you know what? This has been out of hand for a long time. And that's why we are fed up. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I am white. So imagine how someone of color is feeling. So, in the introduction, he says, this has been a slow and torturous process since 1215 AD, when the Magna Charta was signed by King John at Runnymede, which began the slow march of the law to evolve the procedures and institutions that protect the accused from the police apparatus of the state. With these words, he implies that the recent Supreme Court decisions were not only necessary but long overdue. On the other hand, Judge Ash agrees with many critics of the court decisions, declaring the job of the policeman is not a happy one. Recent judicial decisions relating to arrest, confessions, search and seizure, the right to a lawyer have made police efforts more difficult. But difficulty in enforcement is not the sole criterion of criminal justice. A democratic society must and does not reject expediency as an end in itself. As police officers often assume new roles in the structure of American society, their work may be eased somewhat by more understanding on the part of the community of who they are, what they do, and the limits of their authority. The central issue of our time appears to be the increasing conflict between the assertion of authority and the maintenance of individual freedom. One of the obvious conclusions to be drawn from the author's work is that an urgent need exists for higher standards of selection, training, and education of police and other criminal justice personnel. This includes the exposure of police and potential recruits to a liberal arts education. As part of this thrust towards professionalization, it is necessary that we and every one of us learn and understand the police structure, police procedures, and the place of police in American society. 1967. I would love to share more. If you liked the beginning of this video, I'm happy to continue to share some bits from this. I've read the first chapter. Maybe I could do a little chapter by chapter kind of breakdown for y'all. You know, those of you that are willing to listen to how history is repeating itself, and that's why we need to educate ourselves. Peace.